Hello again, Grace and friends. It's Mrs. Wurman. I wanted to read to you today because it's kind of drippy and grim and rainy outside. So I looked for books about rain, and I found one about a rainy day and another one about umbrellas. This one's called The Umbrella Queen by Shirin Yin Bridges. Here we go. High in the hills of Thailand, there is a village where everyone does the same thing. The same thing people in the village have been doing for hundreds of years. Making umbrellas, big umbrellas, small umbrellas, paper umbrellas, silk umbrellas, red, blue, yellow, pink, green umbrellas, all of them painted with flowers and butterflies by the women and girls of the village. It's a nice village, look at that, and the umbrella painters outside. Every New Year's Day, the woman who has painted the most beautiful umbrella is chosen as the Umbrella Queen, and she leads all the villagers in a big umbrella parade. A little girl named Newt took part in these parades, walking behind older girls who were proudly carrying the umbrellas they'd painted. How Newt wished she had an umbrella of her own. Here's the parade. Whoop, there we go. And I think, let's see Newt right here in the red. There she is. You can tell because she's little and she doesn't have an umbrella of her own. When can I paint umbrellas? She asked her mother. Newt already knew how the umbrellas were made. She'd watched her father fit thin strips of wood and bamboo together to make the umbrella frames. Here they are, making them together to make the frame. She'd helped her grandmother to make paper to cover the umbrellas, but what Newt wanted to do was what her mother did. She wanted to paint umbrellas. Let's see her making the paper with her grandmother. Covered in paper so they can paint them, just like canvas or anything else you would paint on. That's really fun. Please let me try painting. I promise I'll be careful, said Newt. Newt's mother was working in the garden. Freshly painted umbrellas were propped open around her like huge flowers. Very well, Newt, her mother said, giving her an umbrella. Paint on your umbrella what I'm painting on mine. Newt's mother painted a flower. Newt painted a flower. Newt's mother painted some leaves and vines. Newt carefully painted leaves and vines. Newt's mother painted 2 butterflies fluttering around the flowers. Newt painted 2 butterflies fluttering around the flowers. That's very good, Newt, said her mother, impressed. Let's show Fa our umbrellas. Here are the umbrellas they're painting. Look how carefully Newt is painting carefully, so she does a good job like her mom. They put the 2 umbrellas in front of Newt's father. Newt's grandmother joined them. They all looked from one umbrella to the other. Why, you can hardly tell the difference, Newt's grandmother said. Newt's father gave his daughter a big hug. With a little practice, Newt, you'll be a great umbrella painter. I bet she's so proud. I bet she's really proud that she can do it too now. The next day, Newt's mother gave her 5 umbrellas that were ready to be painted. Here's a finished one, Newt, so you'll remember what to paint, said her mother. Then her grandmother gave Newt her very own set of paints and brushes. Finally, her father helped her carry all her things to a spot she'd picked in the corner of the garden. She's ready to paint by herself now. This is very exciting. Newt sat in the sunshine and started to paint. First, she painted the butterflies. Then she was going to paint the flowers, leaves, and vines, but something made her change her mind. She painted an elephant chasing the butterflies instead. Around the rim of the umbrella, the little elephant chased the butterflies. On her second umbrella, the butterflies had flown away. Instead, the little elephant left alone was practicing handstands. He did a handstand and then fell down and then got up and tried again. Those are her elephants. Aren't they cute? Even the one who's falling over is cute. On Newt's third umbrella, the little elephant was joined by another. The 2 elephants ran around and around, squirting each other with water through their trunks. On the 4th umbrella, A whole string of elephants walked happily, trunk to tail. And on the last umbrella, the elephants had fun just being silly. I like her elephants. I think she's a very good artist. "What are you doing?" asked Newt's mother, not very pleased. "You're supposed to be painting flowers and butterflies." Newt smiled. "But I like elephants," she said. "I'm sorry, Newt," said her father. "You must paint flowers and butterflies." "Yes, Fa," said Newt, trying to hide her disappointment. She knew that all the umbrellas her family made were sold to the village council's shop, which sold nothing but flower and butterfly umbrellas. Painting umbrellas wasn't just for fun, it was work to help feed the family. I think she's disappointed because she was so proud of her work. So every day for the rest of the year, Newt worked hard painting flowers and butterflies. But in the evenings, when the air rang with the laughter of children playing hide and seek in the street, Newt gathered up leftover scraps of bamboo and mulberry paper and made tiny doll-sized umbrellas. And these umbrellas she painted with elephants and arranged them proudly on her windowsill. Oh, good. I'm glad she does get to paint the elephants after all. Maybe not the ones that get sold to the council store, but still. Before long, it was time to prepare for the New Year celebrations, including the umbrella parade. For the first time anyone could remember, the king was going to be spending the New Year holiday in his winter palace nearby. The village council had taken the bold step of inviting the king to come to the village to choose this year's umbrella queen. Every day, all day long, the women laughed and chatted while they worked in their gardens. They talked about whether or not the king would accept their invitation. Every evening, the men gathered under the big tree in the middle of the village and all talked about the same thing. There are all the ladies painting. Everybody's talking about whether or not the king will come. Then one morning, 2 weeks before New Year's Day, the noise outside Newt's window woke her up. The whole village was shouting and laughing and calling out to one another. Newt scrambled out of bed to see what was going on. She could hardly believe it. The king had written to say he was coming to choose the umbrella queen. They are super excited. Oh my goodness. On the big day, all the families gave their houses a final cleaning and laid their best umbrellas out by their gates, opened so the painted flowers and butterflies faced the road. The king and the village councilors walked down the road, inspecting the umbrellas one by one. Finally, the king stopped in front of Newt's house. He looked carefully at the umbrellas by the gate. "These are very beautiful umbrellas," he said to Newt's mother, who bowed deeply but kept her eyes respectfully cast down toward the ground. There he is, looking at all of those umbrellas. Remember, all flowers and butterflies. That street probably looks beautiful with all those umbrellas on it. The king looked down the road to make sure that this was the last house. All the villagers had now gathered a respectful distance behind him. Turning to them and smiling, he straightened his back to make his announcement. But as he did, something caught his eye. "What are those?" he asked, and stepped forward to take a closer look. Newt's mother almost fainted to see the king peering through a window into her house. "Who painted these strange umbrellas?" asked the king. A murmur went through the crowd as they noticed the tiny umbrellas clustered on the windowsill. "Look!" exclaimed the king. "They're covered with tiny elephants." He saw them. They were hidden in the house, but he saw them anyway. "Did you paint these umbrellas?" the king asked Newt, guessing from her red ears that she had. "Yes, your majesty," said Newt, bowing deeply. "What is your name?" "Newt, your majesty." "Why such tiny umbrellas?" "The big umbrellas are only for flowers and butterflies," replied Newt, keeping her eyes down. Said the king. "And what's wrong with flowers and butterflies? Why did you need to paint elephants?" "Well," Newt stuttered, wondering how she could explain herself. She frowned and forgot to keep her eyes on the ground. She looked up and was surprised to see the king's friendly smile. "I like elephants." The king laughed. She was very scared, but it seems like he's not scary after all. Ladies and gentlemen, he said kindly, taking Newt's hand and turning around to address the rest of the village. Because she paints from her heart, I'm choosing Newt as this year's Umbrella Queen. And there's the parade. And see, look at this. The king is carrying one of the little umbrellas. Whoop, wait a minute. The king is carrying one of the little umbrellas, and so is Newt, and everybody else is carrying the big ones. The end. I want you to see something I noticed. At the front of the book, look at all the umbrellas in the inside. And that's her cat. All flowers and butterflies, right? And then at the back of the book, look. All elephants. Isn't that cool? I like that story an awful lot. And I have to say also, I noticed something when I was looking at the picture of the town. So excited because the king was walking down the street. Look at this. This is where they are, right? What is back here? Oh, with a chair on its back. That's an elephant. I bet the king rode an elephant there. Maybe the king really loves elephants too. Anyway, I love the Umbrella Queen. I thought that was a fun story. Now we have another story that has a lot to do with rain called Priscilla and the Pixie Princess. So, as we all know, the sky above us is blue. Oh, wait just a minute, that's not always true. Sometimes I've noticed, I'm sure you have too, the sky turns a purple, green, brownish, gray hue. And that's just how things were looking today on that planet of Priscilla's, not so far away. Here we go. Priscilla lives a long way away from here, I guess, on a different planet. For Priscilla, in fact, there'd been no blue for days. It started last week with a yellowish haze. Each day, the sky darkened. It thickened like soup. Finally, the whole sky seemed just to droop. It doesn't look like a very cheery day outside. The first raindrop fell, then the second and third. Then the clouds opened up, and rain was the word. It's kind of what it feels like outside today. The clouds opened up. It came down in buckets. It came down in sheets. Rain flowed like rivers through backyards and streets. The fish thought it grand, and the frogs sang with glee, and the ducks' kooky quacking seemed quite to agree. I want you to try to say that yourself. Kooky quacking. It's hard to say. I'm proud of myself that I got it right on the video. Well, Priscilla is neither a fish nor a duck. By her way of thinking, this rain was bad luck. But bad luck aside, Priscilla's no poop. She belongs to the do what you gotta do group. There she is inside the house, trying to close the door and keep the rain out. She passed a few hours reading in bed, did somersaults, backbends, and stood on her head. She made up a language to teach to her doll. But Sally couldn't learn. Her brain was too small. Instead, they had tea, but the water got cold. The crumpets were crusty, and the jam had a mold. She's trying to keep herself busy inside. I bet we all know what that's like, right? Now, this one may stretch the bounds of belief, but Priscilla thought chores might bring some relief. So she watered the plants and fed her pet fishes. She swept out the dust balls and did all the dishes. She fluffed up the pillows, then flopped to the floor. "Oh, bonkers," she cried. "This rain is a bore." You know that she's bored because she starts doing chores like cleaning the house. That is a pretty good thing to do when you're indoors for a long time, though. It rained all that day and the day after that. It kept coming hard. This was no pitter-pat. By the third day, Priscilla was in quite a stew, spinning in circles, cabin fever, beaucoup. Beaucoup is French. It means a whole lot. Cabin fever means she's tired of being cooped up in her house. Egads, she groaned, grabbing fistfuls of hair. All this rotten rain is really no fair. 1 day of rain, 1 day would be fine, but 3 days, she fumed, is way out of line. She really, really doesn't like the rain. Sometimes a problem can seem overly large, but you know Priscilla, she likes to take charge. I've got it, she cried. I know just what we need. A rain-stopping dance is the way to proceed. I like her big happy fish. Look how fat and happy he is sleeping in the bowl. In 5 minutes flat, perhaps even quicker, Priscilla pulled on her rain boots and slicker. Then in just 1, maybe 2 minutes more, that girl was careening headlong out the door. She has a plan. Or an idea, anyway. Splish! The rain, it was thrashing like waves on the sea. But did that stop Priscilla? Not her, no siree. In fact, if you saw how she stomped, splashed, and spun, you might have supposed she was having some fun. Splash! It is fun to splash in puddles outside if you can go outside in the rain wearing a rain slicker and rain boots. Then, all of a sudden, she stopped, still as a stone. It's that funny feeling, I'm not alone. At the edge of the yard, something did stir. A pair of eyes flashed. They were looking at her. See those eyes? Right back there? Ah. Let's find out what has those eyes peeking at her through the grass. Trying hard to ignore her wobbling knees, she whispered, "Who's there? Answer me, please." A voice called out from the edge of the wood. "Just having a look. Your dance is quite good." Sounds like a friendly voice. Let's see. Thought Priscilla. I shouldn't feel scared. So she crept towards the woods as close as she dared. "Who are you?" she asked. "I wish I could see. Perhaps we could even be friends, you and me." Here's the whole picture. Priscilla is very friendly. I hope the person or the thing with the voice is friendly too. "Friends?" the voice giggled. "Friends, yes indeed. I like your rain dance, so we're friends. It's agreed." And then through the leaves, a pink face peeked out. "Oh," gasped Priscilla. "You're a pixie, no doubt." She looks kind of like Priscilla. "Yes, I'm a pixie. Posey's my name. The land of Primrose is the land whence I came." The pixie then curtsied right there in midair, and Priscilla, astonished, did nothing but stare. Those are very fancy wings. I wonder if it's hard to curtsy in midair. I've never tried to do that. "You're funny," laughed Posey in a perfect plie. "I mean that, of course, in a wonderful way. When storm clouds roll in, most people complain. I'm glad to see someone enjoying the rain." Well, Priscilla was trying to gather her wits. "But Posey," she pleaded, "this rain is the pits. I didn't come out to have fun. Not a chance. I came out to do a rain-stopping dance." Uh-oh. My, replied Posey, full of concern. "I see you still have a few things to learn." "Wait," cried Priscilla, cinching her hood. "I'm sorry," she called. "I don't mean to be rude. Come back. Please come back, little pixie," she wooed. Then Posey, that pixie, swooped back to the wood. Uh-oh, I think Priscilla hurt her feelings. Accidentally. Priscilla scrunched up her face and stared at her shoe. Then it was clear there was only one thing to do. She's looking. What do you think the thing is she thinks is the one thing to do? Uh-oh. I bet she's going to try to go find her. The forest was glowing a radiant green. Every plant glistened with a sparkling sheen. Raindrops were clinging to leaflets like jewels, and all was reflected in shimmering pools. It's kind of magical looking, huh? Because of the rain, I guess. Then once again that Pixie appeared, whirling and twirling. "Oh, goody," she cheered. "I knew you were special. Just follow me. There are so many things that I want you to see." There she is. Very happy that Priscilla followed her. "Look here," Posy called. "The funk funnel vine. The smell isn't great, but the funneling's divine. And the bob-along beetle, the umbrella flower, the muck mover mole has come out for his shower." Let me see. The umbrella flower, the muck mover mole. What was this up here? The funk funnel vine. It looks kind of like a flume ride. That's kind of fun. "Just get a gander at the great gargling crane. All of these creatures, they live for the rain." "Yes," laughed Priscilla. "I see that that's true. They all look so happy. I'm feeling it too." She's changed her perspective on the rain, huh? "The rain used to seem such a dreary old bore. I understand now it's about so much more. There are worlds within worlds, an endless array. Look closer and you'll see things a new way." I'm going to show you. This is hard to show because it's a big picture, so I'm going to just kind of scroll across there. Look at all the things that are going on in the rain. See, when I back up, see how big a picture it is? There's a lot going on. To Priscilla, it seemed something new had begun. Then the clouds opened up and out burst the sun. The end. So she made a new friend, and she did a lot of different things. And I just want you to remember that there are a lot of things you can do in your house, even when it's rainy, or even if it's not rainy, but you're still stuck inside. So I hope you had fun today listening to stories with me. Can't wait to read to you again. Have a great day. Bye.